Привет, товарищи, willkommen, Kameraden, and hey lads, welcome to sunny Berlin. Hey guys, first day on the town in Berlin. I'm feeling pretty good about it. So this is where I'm staying. I wonder what the history of the place is. I kind of want it to be people's apartments, because that'd be really cool, just to say a little bit of Cold War trivia there. You know, the state would build inexpensive apartments for the citizens of the German Democratic Republic, what they called East Germany. I mean, I'm in the right side of town, I'm across the river, I'm in the east. It's pretty good so far. Pretty clean, pretty nice, but then I say that everywhere. But anyway, now it's time to find the metro station. Berlin Metro. Unter den Linden. I've made it, lads. I've made it. There's a few more steps up that way. There's the Brandenburger Tor and the Reichstag and everything. I've made it, fellas. Brandenburger Tor. There it is, fellas, there it is. Behind me we have the Brandenburger Tor, the Brandenburg Gate. I have literally thought about this since childhood. This is amazing, fellas. This is absolutely amazing. So I'm here now, in the shadow of the Brandenburg Gate. I still can't believe I can say that. Having a little panini and a bottle of water, but I'm just blown away, fellas, honestly. Completely blown away. I can't impress on you guys enough how amazing this is. You know, think about it. This is where the world was divided for 50 years. Stormtroopers walked through there, Soviets walked through there, Stasi walked through there, fucking Frederick the Great, all of the rest. You know, finally it's here. I can go up and touch it, but gotta go do my tour first. Travi World, it's the wall. God.
2 months after the wall goes up in October 1961, there is a tank.
So I've just finished the walking tour, so not much footage from today, only because I didn't want to interrupt the guy. And now we're on the Platz, where the famous book burnings took place in '33. So to give you a sense of it, it's quite open. Quite big, facing onto the Humboldt University. Just around the corner, I'll show you in a moment, we've got a statue of Frederick the Great. Very big area. And then we were shown there are two plaques just over there. I'll get to them in a moment. That have the famous "where they burn books, they burn people" line, and stuff about Nationalsozialistische Studenten and all of them, and how they came out to burn the books. And then we have a little glass portal in the middle of the Platz. So I don't know if you could see in that little glass panel, but if you look into it, there's actually a whole bunch of bookshelves down there, enough to store, according to my guide, lovely English guy called James, enough room in there to store 20,000 books, 15 to 20,000 books, just sort of as a symbol of, you know, you can never destroy these ideas, that sort of thing, even if you control that cultural space, as the Nazis sought to do. So that is, I cannot remember the name of this Platz, whatever it is, where they burnt the books. So here we go. Here is Frederick the Great. He never really pissed about, did he? Really commits to the theme, to the big ornate statues. So, I'm walking down the Unter den Linden. Holy shit. I'm walking down the Unter den Linden, this is amazing. Back towards the Brandenburg Gate, just so that I can have a beer in the hotel bar of the Hotel Adlon. Just to say I have. One day I can hopefully stay there. If I can get a good shot, I'll get a shot of the Brandenburg Gate as I get closer. But so far, it's a fantastic city. I've already had a currywurst and a beer, but I was talking to some guy I met on a tour, so I couldn't show you, but I'll do it again, because it's pretty good. And the beer was fantastic, so yeah, I'll get back to you when I'm trying to walk once again through the Brandenburg Gate. So here I am, outside the Russian embassy on Unter den Linden. Sort of appropriate. Now, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it terribly clearly. I've zoomed in a bit, so you've got the flag up there, but you've still got the hammer and sickle in the middle. You know, sort of a triumphal coat of arms with the worker on one side and some sort of goddess on the other. Just a little bit of the Soviet era still left. So I'm here, guys, in the Hotel Adlon. Let's find some beer. So I'm waiting in the Hotel Adlon for my beer. I love this country. So all I ordered was this big beer on your right, which they do that's 0.5 of a litre, so that's €11, which I don't know, it's about the same as the beer back home. But look at all this as well. What a country! But oh my god, guys, I am in the Hotel Adlon. I've heard stories about this place, and I'm in it, getting a beer. This is insane. I'm so lucky. So very lucky. The Hotel Adlon! People were writing about this a century ago. Now, time to get stuck into this beer. I had one earlier with my currywurst, and it was the best. But time to shut up and drink my beer. A cigarette machine in the Hotel Adlon. Clearly it hasn't gone out of fashion on the continent. So this is the Hotel Adlon, all the stories and everything, yeah, and all the novels. So, I'm back on the Brandenburger tour, and I am a litre of beer to the wind, so who knows what I'll do. What I put myself through for you guys. Now, I think I'm going to head off to the Tiergarten, which I believe is through the gates, and just have a look around the sort of the government sector, you know, the Reichstag, all the rest. We kind of missed that a bit on our tour. Now, the music you're hearing, I think, is coming from the guy just where my finger is. So just right of my finger. It's called a Trabi, or Trabant, which was an East German car in the DDR, quite popular because it was quite inexpensive. I think it's coming from him. Anyway, off to the Tiergarten. Unfortunately, I'm not able to walk through the middle of the gate. As you can see, there's something on. So I cannot walk through it like the, you know, Napoleonic legions and the Stasi and all the rest. But it's still pretty impressive. I'm here, lads! At the gates! Here comes the Bundeswehr. What are they doing? It's the Reichstag. So here I am at the Reichstag. I remember thinking when I saw the Capitol building in the US, I wasn't as impressed as I am right now. I guess because there's at least for me, a greater sense of, I don't know how to put it other than it's just a sense of history here, really. Whereas in the Capitol building, you know, it's sort of polluted by sort of the general American malaise and materialism and all the rest. But yeah, Dem Deutschen Volke, which I believe translates as for the German people. And if you know your World War II history, just at the tip of that triangle, you know, at the top of the building, is where the Soviets raised the hammer and sickle. So it's kind of fitting that the defeat of the ultimate evil, I believe, committed against the German people and the world, National Socialism, was kind of symbolically defeated just here, on this spot, at the top of that. At the top of that building. Dem Deutschen Volke. Now, to give you a little potted history of the Battle of Berlin in this sector, my understanding is that the Soviets would have come from over here, or possibly over here, depending on where the Spree is. And this whole area through here was mined, and there was a ditch full of water and all the rest. So they would have come streaming down from over here. That's my best bet if I remember my geography properly. So they came streaming down here, and then they fought for, I think, maybe 2 days at the most, and then they sort of worked their whole way through to the actual Reichstag itself. They did actually raise the flag a day before the official photo was taken, in the middle of the night, but the whole building hadn't been taken at that point. Then they retook the whole building, and then at that point they raised the flag again, and my understanding is that a Georgian was picked because, you know, Stalin being Georgian. So that's sort of a potted history of the Battle of Berlin in this area. You know, the destruction of one of the greatest evils of the 20th century happened on what is now quite a pleasant square, really. You know, they came streaming in from over here and went up there, and it was all over. Cheers, lads. Never be forgotten. Well, that's enough staring at the Reichstag. I think it's time to go into the Tiergarten. Right, now, because I love you, I'm going to subject myself to another currywurst. Although when I show you, it's sort of posh looking, so at least I won't feel too terrible about it. Here's the currywurst. Meat, potatoes, and a great big bottle of beer. It only cost me about 12 euros, which I think equates to about 20 bucks back home. But this isn't the time to be thinking about exchange rates. Let's get stuck in. God, I love this country. Right, let's give this one a taste. Meat potato. I have a sneaking suspicion that all currywurst will actually taste the same. That doesn't change the fact that, you know, it's all just potato, meat, sweet curry sauce. Still pretty good. Yeah, no matter who does it. Even if it is just the same meal reiterated. Yeah, it's sort of the way I describe it is, think of like the most off-the-shelf butter chicken you could think of. That's what currywurst tastes like. And, I mean, people like that off-the-shelf butter chicken for a reason, so... But yeah, currywurst. The dandy rates it. Now let me finish my meal. Jesus. So I've just stumbled across the Soviet Memorial. So obviously, taken off the hat to show respect. Let's go have a look. So here I am at the Soviet Memorial. You'll see I've still got the hammer and sickle there. And my Russian isn't good enough yet to figure out what exactly all of that says. But we do, fortunately, have an English translation just over here, which says, "Eternal glory to heroes who fell in the struggle against the German fascist invaders for the freedom and independence of the Soviet Union." So we've got artillery here, and then a T-34, the tank that broke the back of the Wehrmacht. And we have the sort of eternal soldier just up here. And so let's see if there's a Russian for what we had just over there. I think each section is for each section of the army. So we've got riflemen there, tank men, I think possibly the Air Force. I'd really have to look into it. Oh, and then we have the German, for what's said on the other side. "Wir Ruhme der Helden, die in den Kämpfen mit den deutschen faschistischen Endringlingen für die Freiheit und Unabhängigkeit der Sowjetunion verlegen." I've probably butchered the pronunciation there, but I think it's just the same sort of reiteration of what was said there. And that must be what's said on the central piece of the memorial. So yeah, that's the Soviet Memorial for you. So I figured it out. It's Wiecznaya Slava, which means eternal glory. Goryam, which means heroes. Artilleristam Krasnoi Armii Spavshim Pri Sturmie Gorodia Berlina, which I think translates as eternal glory to the artillerymen of the Red Army who took part in storming the city of Berlin. Goroda Berlina is Russian for the city of Berlin. So that's the artilleryman. And then we have, if I can get a good shot of it that's not got sunlight in it, we have Вечная слава горям, героям, пехотинцам Красной армии, павшим при штурме города Берлина, which must mean, I assume it means riflemen, but it's the riflemen who took part in the storming of the city of Berlin. And so we've got the names of, you know, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions died. Well, not millions, but hundreds of thousands died, I think. We've got the names of a select few. So there's Lieutenant, Герой Советского Союза, is the top one there. So he's a hero of the Soviet Union. Герой Советского Союза, ГБМЛ, Lieutenant Shumlova, who they don't know when he was born, but they know that he died on the 20th of January, February, March, 20th of April, 1945, so Hitler's birthday. So yeah, we've got the heroes of the Soviet Union at the top. So we've got Герой Советского Союза, ГБ Lieutenant Ivanov LP. We don't know when he was born, but he died on the 25th of March 1945. So yeah, there we go. That's just a little sense of the... Let's see what these guys have got. Вечная слава горям, сапарам Красной армии, павшими при штурме города Берлина. So that's the sappers who took part. Вечная слава героям, танкистам Красной армии, павшим при штурме города Берлина. And the Союзия Советская, Герой Советского Союз, so here's the Soviet Union here. We've got one with a special word above him that I don't know, which is, his name is Zharov V.E. And we don't know when he was born, and necessarily when he died. And then the next hero is Manor I think it's Horyakov Sevwe. And we don't know when he was born, but he died on the 29th of March. And then the next hero of the Soviet Union is Герой Советского Союза, Manor Lutsta Sevwe. And we don't know when they were born, but we know when they died, the 22nd of March 1945. In my mind, they're all heroes, you know, really. They defeated the greatest evil of the 20th century, and because of the Cold War, they don't get the credit that they do. Now, like, how they treated occupied Germany that's not excusable at all. The horrible crimes they committed against women there, but they defeated the Nazis. Большое спасибо. Now I got to turn the phone off for a bit because I am on about 5% because I've been taking too much footage for you guys. But someone like this, sort of appropriate. They need to be remembered.